This week's nugget, I want to talk about habits. These are the 5 habits that I really try to encourage my clients to be more mindful of. Remember, one habit at a time. Don't change everything all at once. If you do that, it's going to be overwhelming. Your expectations of what should be changing, how you should be feeling, usually becomes completely distorted. And I want you to just feel like they're naturally part of your life eventually, and you do that by slowly integrating them. Some of these will be repeats, and it will be a good reminder for you to maybe pick up your socks if you've sort of stepped back, because I know I haven't done a lifestyle challenge in a while, but I want to make sure that I'm continuing to support you, not only through your strength workouts, but also get you thinking about habits that you need to be improving and getting better on as we are working towards these fitness goals. So the first thing is sleep. I trained Dr. Sarah McPherson. Hi, Sarah. I know you're on the app too, so I need to give you a thumbs up and a thank you for introducing this book to me. I know it's backwards, but it says Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. She introduced this book to me about 5 or 6 years ago when I was training her face-to-face. She's now on the app. So hi, Sarah, if you're listening to this. And she said this literally changed her life. Now, she is an ER doctor. So in order for her to really pick up the slack and get her sleep in and making it a priority really was a very difficult task for her because of the shift work that she does. But she really after reading this book, she realized the importance of sleep and what it does to your body inside in terms of repairing it. And I mean, I don't want this nugget to be too long. So ladies, if you have not yet read this book, this is a book that I highly recommend, especially if you are not getting enough sleep or don't understand the importance of why. So hormone changes are already fluctuating for many of us. Lack of sleep is just going to make those issues worse. So we really need to make sure that we are getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. I know it is easier said than done, but there's excellent ways that you can figure out your sleep through meditation, breath work. Of course, we don't want to be taking anything for it, but evening routines are going to be something that you're really going to want to dial into, getting rid of, TVs and iPhones an hour before dinner, an hour before bed, getting yourself in a relaxed state, whatever gets you there. So, and I find reading an hour before bed is something that really just makes me sleepy naturally. So this is the very first thing. You need to dial in your sleep. You need to figure that out. There's lots of different ways that you can research on how to improve sleep. But if you are not sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night consistently, even 1 or 2 bad sleeps a week is really going to take you off balance. So go to bed the same time every day, get up the same time every day. That will also help incorporate a healthy circadian rhythm, which in overall health is extremely important, especially for us women. Number 2, obviously this is a non-brainer. We want to lift heavy 3 to 4 times a week. Obviously you're here with me, so you understand the importance of doing it. The first step is the registering, getting in the app. Now the second step is you getting those workouts done. I'm getting serious here, but those are so important. Those are the things, the strength workouts that I program each and every week have to be a priority. So do I love coming down here or going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week? Not always. Sometimes I really do love it. Sometimes my body doesn't feel great, but it is a commitment that I'm really trying to make an effort. Now, I'm a human just like everyone. Shit gets in the way, body doesn't feel very good. Mentally, I would much rather, some days just lie in bed and feel sorry for myself. But I promise you, if you make a commitment to getting strong through these strength workouts, it will be a life-changing thing for you in the future. I'm going to talk a lot more about that as we go, just because of all the stories that I can share. But again, it's already 4 minutes, so let's try to keep this short. Protein, obviously this is a non-brainer, but particularly let's focus on that first meal. I'm not talking about fasting or what time of day we're eating. If you are not getting 30 to 40 grams of protein in your first meal, that should be the focus. not whether or not you're fasting or not. So it needs to be a good breakfast, super, super important. So it doesn't matter what time you're eating meal one, what matters is what's in it. So of course I really love my 4 eggs, half an avocado, salt and pepper, chives if there's some left over from the dinner before. If I have leftover protein, instead of 4 eggs, I'll do 2 eggs. And like this morning, I had slices of my leftover steak from Friday, sorry. And so, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the dogs since they've already had their walk, but anyways. So yeah, that first meal has got to be full of protein. There's lots of reasons as to why. You can do your own research as to why it's important, or we can elaborate more about why on our Facebook page. I really want, especially if you're trying to build muscle and change the shape of your body, on the same note with protein, I would love for you to get at least 0.8, if not 1 pound per pound, 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I weigh about 125 pounds. I'm happy with 100 grams of protein each day. The only way I get that is by adding a scoop and a half of whey with water midday. So that is how I get over 100 grams each day. If you're weighing more than that, then you need to eat even more protein. The other macros will just balance themselves out if you are getting the right amount of protein in. That's the easiest way to look at your intake of food. Make sure it's good quality protein, right? Whey, meat, there's vegetarian options if you are, there's vegetarian proteins as you can see. I have helped vegetarians, but it's more difficult. I'm not gonna try to beat around the bush. It is more difficult. Eggs are excellent source of protein. One is only 7 grams, so you need to at least have, if you're having 30 grams, you need to have 4, that makes 28 grams, right? Unless you add some protein in. Anyways, I digress. So that's number 3. Number 4, fiber. Get your fiber in, get, I believe it's 20 grams of fiber in each day. Is so important. As we get older, sometimes our bowels become a little disrupted due to hormone changes. So you really need to make sure that you're getting in the fiber. Best sources of fiber obviously come through vegetables, avocados, fruits, green leafy vegetables. But if you are, this is going to be a lot of information, but if you're not pooping 1 or even 2 times a day, and needing to wipe more than 3 or 4 times, that's another weird indicator. But if you wipe and your stools aren't clean, coming out cleanly, and you have to keep wiping, that's another sign that you need to improve or increase your fiber. So I love Sabine talking about the importance of fiber. So you don't necessarily need to supplement. You can definitely do it through eating real foods. I'm fascinated and love learning about all of the foods and what they do to enhance and improve my health. I know I'm probably not like all of you, but we can always head on to that Facebook page and talk more about certain types of foods that will help increase portions of protein, options, thoughts, and fiber. And then the last thing, of course, is movement. Sitting is, they say, almost as bad as smoking. I don't think that's true, but not even close. But we have to stand more than we're sitting in a day. And for a lot of you, that is going to sound ridiculous because you have a job which requires you to sit. But you have to then be even more mindful of an opportunity to stand. So in your daily habits, think about the times every hour, maybe every 10 minutes of every hour that you're sitting, you force yourself to come up, do some, warm up heel raises that we've been doing, or just walk across the street to grab a coffee, walk back. Those things, those small little things that you incorporate each day are going to make more of an impact than you realize. You don't have to be, it's not NEAT, because I want us to focus on NEAT for sure. That's just non-exercise activity. That's not walking. It's basically ironing, cleaning the house. So you're moving, that still needs to be something that's often considered. But again, walking, movement, standing is more important it's more of a focus that I want to remind you of. So when I went and gave blood last week, there was 10 extra seats. It was kind of funny. I choose to stand, although I really wanted to sit because I was fasting and I was hungry and I was tired. It was first thing in the morning and I wasn't in a good mind space, but I stood. And surprisingly enough, the room fed into that and more people got up and stood. So how cool is that? People are like, hey, that chick's standing. She looks fit. Maybe I should get off my butt and stand while I'm waiting. Wow, it makes a big difference. So break your walking up into 2 or 3 segments each day. I did talk about that last session and really pushed either your daily focus on getting 3,000 steps in the morning and then breaking it up. I would love 7,000 to 10,000 steps in a day, in zone 2 preferably, but again, just let's focus on one thing at a time. Let's get moving. Let's get our steps to 7 to 10. It is so imperative that we do that, and we do it in breaking it up. So don't go to your fitness class, or don't get on the treadmill and do an hour, or who does an hour on the treadmill, but say 30 minutes or 40 minutes and think that that's it for the day. No, that's probably depending on if you run. I don't run, I just walk, but that's usually only about 3,000 steps for me. So I have to then either go for an evening walk to add to those steps, or I have to come back here if it's a real shit day or dark or something and be more mindful of getting the rest of the steps in. Breaking them up throughout the day is huge. It also helps reduce your blood sugars. So especially after a meal, if you can get on a treadmill or go outside for a 15 to 20 minute brisk walk each meal, and you're worried about your blood sugars, you're worried about those sorts of things, if you've been told that is something you need to be more aware of, walking post meal will make a huge difference. So will increased fiber and increased protein. So a lot of the habits that I really kind of get you thinking about, obviously, are how you're fueling. But we can be working out as hard as we can, really being diligent in the weight room. But if there's other things that need improving slowly, then you need to consider and make sure that you're paying attention to those things as well, or else you will not see the efforts. If one of your goals is to see the efforts, right? Every time you make a step, you take a step into this gym, or not my gym, but the gym you have, you are doing better, you're getting stronger, you're improving the way your body is going to respond now and in the future, which is amazing. And that's probably good for a lot of you. But if one of your goals is to see the efforts, the other habits have to start improving as well. So just something that I really try to get people thinking about, especially at the beginning of the session. And for those of you who have been with me for a while, it's a very good reminder, even for me, just to sit here and talk about it out loud. I'm far from perfect, trust me. So together, we're going to focus on these things. We're going to make sure we're continuing to write notes in our app so you can see, in fact, that you are improving strength-wise, taking those progress pictures. I haven't heard that the app is causing you difficulty, but if it still is, incorporating those pictures, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to stop my talking. Sorry, this is a long one. And do a real-time mobility for you so you'll have that first thing in the morning. Hopefully you're enjoying your Sunday.